Hi, it's Mrs. Alecki, and welcome to the end of your service learning course. So here's this outline of what you need to be able to get full credit for your final project. Remember, it is 20% of your grade. I created a Google slide, and you can actually download a copy of this specific slide and use it as a backbone for putting together your final project. That way you're sure that you've answered every question and you hit all your requirements to get full credit. It doesn't look real pretty right now, but you can add stuff to it and change the font and change the color to fit whatever it is that you did for your project. So what you're going to do is we'll take a look at all the different steps that you actually went through to complete your project. Remember, step 1 was investigation, planning and preparation, action, reflection, and demonstration and celebration. I'm just going to click over to the next slide. It's a full group of slides. This is where you're going to actually put a link in here to maybe the website for the location that you used, describe the location that you went to, and the address and a contact person and a phone number. Planning and preparation, you have 2 questions that you want to answer here. Just remember that you want to write them out in complete sentences. All right, or you can verbally reply in a video format, just like what I'm doing right now. So you can see me over here and you can answer the question. So you tell me the dates and the time that you attended your volunteer site and how many hours did you actually volunteer over a given period of time. Action steps, what did you do to implement your idea? So what jobs did you perform? Any problems that you encountered and how did you overcome them? And what specific skills have you used at your community site? The last 3 slides are reflection. This is kind of the heart of the assignment where you want to go in and let me know what your takeaway is from doing your volunteer work. So many of us have role models that we look up to and we watch while they do things and we're impressed in why they do it and how they do it. So this one is about maybe one of the role models that you encountered that you didn't know before you did the community service. So pick one person who had a strong positive impression on you. Give me 2 qualities that you admire about the person. And then the last part is like, how could you use those qualities in your own life to be a role model to somebody else? Volunteering can also boost your career and college prospects. So colleges and employers, okay, so that is employers. I just edited that a little bit. They look for candidates with a range of interpersonal skills. And interpersonal skills are things like your communication skills with other people, or your listening skills, or maybe empathy for somebody else. How well we interact with each other. That's going to be important. When it comes to going to college, it's going to be important for when you have a career. So what interpersonal skills did you develop while you did your service learning? And I have a list of some, but that's not all of them. Adaptability, creative thinking, work ethic, teamwork, networking, positivity, or conflict resolution. This should be about 3 to 5 sentences, like a nice little paragraph of you looking inside of yourself to see how you grew as a person while you did your volunteer work. And then the last one, well, you learned a little bit about stress in the last chapter of this course. And they do say that, volunteering helps reduce stress. And I want you to look inside of yourself. Did you notice any of this happening to you that we talked about so far in the course? So what is it about your volunteer work that helped you take your thoughts, refocus them on somebody else? Did it take away from some of your stress? And then there's a few questions right here that kind of help you direct into your thought patterns of what was going on inside of you as you helped someone else. And then the last slide is where you want to add some photographs of you actually performing your service project, or even a video, so you can videotape yourself while you're doing this, or add photographs, or you can do both. So there's a couple of video programs that I have here that I like to use. It doesn't mean you can't use a different one, but you can use these slides, and then you notice my camera over here to the right, so I'm talking to you over slides that are already produced, and the slides are made for you. So you just want to go backwards and you want to maybe either use the first one or the second one and add the video to it. So like I said, I want to give you a little example. And the example that I'd like to give you would be one that my daughter and I did. My daughter is a junior in high school, and last year we wanted to go to the Animal Welfare League. and the Animal Welfare League on the other coast of Florida. I'm over in Punta Gorda, Florida. And here's the location that we went to. And everything I need to know here, I can get the website here, the address, the phone number, the contact person. So I let everybody know, or let me know, I guess. On the first side, as I tell you, it's the Animal Welfare League. I put the website here, the address, and the phone number of the people we worked with. And again, I just went to the website and I got this information. I'm going to go back to the slides. Then over here, what action did you perform? And while we were there, we did something a little bit different than just going in and volunteering and helping out with the animals. We did something that we both enjoyed very much. We fostered kittens. So a lot of times these kittens are born and they're too little to be adopted out. And since they're too little to be adopted out, they have to stay in the Animal Welfare League until they're at least 2 pounds. And so what they like people to do is to come in and take the small kittens home, take care of them until they're up to that 2 pounds. Now, you don't know if you're going to be there, they're going to be in your house for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or 8 weeks. It really depends on how old the kitten is when you take them home, and how much they weigh when you take them home. Because remember, you need that 2 pound minimum. So we had so much fun. I think that was a job. The job we did was we were foster parents to some kittens, and it was her job, but I helped because you kind of have to have a family thing when you do it this way. And then when we did this, there were some problems that we overcame. So question number 2, she wanted them right in her room, and it's important that they were right in a small room because they can't just have run of the house because they were so tiny. They were so cute. And we also have an adult cat here that doesn't particularly like other cats, so we had to keep them separate. And we didn't want our cat to stress out, and we didn't want the kittens to stress out. So we had to overcome that by giving her a small area. And then we realized after about 24 hours that her room stunk really bad. So we had to get into a routine of having a specific litter, because we didn't know this before, but there's a specific litter you have to have for small kittens. Because if they eat some of it that absorbs a liquid, it expands in their stomach and it could kill them. We didn't know that, but they taught us that before we took them home, which was a beautiful thing to learn, how to care for a very tiny animal that doesn't have a mother to take care of them. And then we learned that the minute they went to the bathroom, we had to clean the litter box so that the room didn't smell so bad. And then we also had to learn how to separate the big cat from the little cat. And then what specific skills? We learned a lot about, fostering a kitten and feral cats in the neighborhood, and how these kittens can be adopted, and they do better with the adoption if somebody takes them home. So if they pick up 2 kittens and they put them in the animal shelter and they stay there in a cage for 4 to 6 weeks, they tend to be antisocial. Whereas if they take them and they bring them home to a family, the family raises them, holds them, then they're actually really likable. And then when people come into the animal shelter to adopt them, those kittens tend to be adopted first because they were experienced with having humans taking care of them from a very small age. So these were things that we learned, and that's why I'm giving you this example. This is something as a family we learned as we did this. All right, so a role model. This was a little bit easier to do than you think. Because we went to the animal shelter, and the man who helped us and taught us how to do this, he was a retired dog whisperer. And I'm like, okay, I've seen this on TV. And it was amazing to watch him because he was great with animals, but he was even better with people. So I learned that the dog whisperer isn't really training the dogs as much as he was training the people how to react properly with an animal. And then to watch this man, he got up every morning and he was there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and he walked the dogs every single day of the week for 2 hours first thing in the morning. And he was the guy who always opened it up. I was like, wow, he's retired. He doesn't have to do that. And it was interesting to watch. So I saw somebody who took a skill that they've done all of their life and they used it as they became a little bit older. And my daughter was just totally impressed because she just watched an older person totally in tune with an animal, and she wanted to be able to do the same thing. So both of us got something different out of it. And then being a role model for others, that was easier than we thought, because all of a sudden her friends kept coming over. They wanted to visit the kittens because it was cute, But then they started to ask, how do I do this? And then the parents came over and they got phone numbers. And before you know it, we had a whole bunch of animals fostered and we didn't even try. So sometimes being a role model is easier than you think. You're just trying to do something and you're doing something that's kind. People watch, they see how happy you are, and they want to do the same thing. So that was kind of fun. This role model one, find one and then see how you are doing the same thing for somebody else. Okay. When you volunteer, you're also learning some skills that you're going to apply for colleges and look for jobs for your future. And they're interpersonal skills, or how we interact with each other. So communication skills, listening skills, or empathy. Interpersonal skills are easier to develop than you think, but it's also easy to kind of go the wrong direction. So when you're doing something like helping and you're volunteering, you're learning as you do it, and then you're helping someone or something, maybe it's even a kitten, how you can't help but fall in love with the kitten and learn how to be a caregiver to something so tiny. It just happens naturally. And all of a sudden you're learning that from an animal, all right? And then watching my daughter do the same thing, it made me feel very proud because she was so caring and kind, and she stuck with it for 6 weeks. She was always there doing everything. So these are skills that we all need to grow. And take a look at the list here. If you don't like one of these on the list, did you become more positive because you did this? Are you better at teamworking? Maybe you were shy and you had a hard time talking, but all of a sudden you got so caught up in what you were volunteering with, met people that are like you doing the same thing, and it kind of helped you come out of your shell and speak a little bit more. All of these are interpersonal skills, so pick one or two that you feel might have grown while you did that, and then answer the following questions. So volunteering is good for your health. We talked about that in Module 3. That it reduces your stress. So studies show that you stop thinking about yourself and your own problems when you refocus your attention on something or someone else. So you remove the worry out of your own head, which decreases your stress level, and that will actually increase your confidence. So that's all nicely said, but did that happen? And I want to know, did any of this happen to you while you did your volunteer work? Did you notice that while you were there, you weren't worried about things that you normally worry about? Did it help you feel confident in yourself and find a purpose, like the caregiving thing with the kittens, you know? All of a sudden you're looking out for something smaller than you. You can't help but feel responsible and have a purpose to make sure they're safe and okay every single day. So whatever you did you see any of that coming up, that you weren't stressed out while you did it? And then to explain why or why not. I mean, sometimes you do volunteer work and all of a sudden you're uncomfortable and it stresses you out. So you can share that with me as well. And how'd you feel when you were finished? Did you become happier? Did it make you sad? Or were you relieved? Like sad when you had to take the kittens back. There was a point when I was like, okay, you have to take the kitten back, but you have to, do this, Josie. And she's like, I'm fine. And she was. I was sad. I missed the kittens. Did you notice any growth or in your self-confidence? Be specific. Like I said, if you were shy, did you talk more? Did you take the initiative? What is it about your confidence that you saw grow while you were doing your volunteer work? And then the last part, of course, is the fun part. You're making this video. Maybe you're adding some photographs. I've got a couple links right here. And the last page with the photographs. So, these are Harry and Louie. Harry Styles. I don't remember Louie's last name, but you guys probably know because they're singers. So, she named them Harry and Louie. There's the photographs. We do have video of them in the room too, which is fun, but I just didn't add it here. So you could add your own video. And then remember, you can change this PowerPoint, change the font, change the color, add photographs. Anything you want, make it yours, add your own photographs. And I look forward to seeing your project. Have a great day. Bye.